This week, the OnTV crew with host Bobby Pastorius are back to the Island of Women, Isla Mujeres, Mexico. Bobby and Jen are joined by Captain Joe Drosy, Captain Mark McDevitt, and First Mate Juan fishing aboard the Sea Mistress. The crew will be targeting bait balls and the sailfish ambushing them, making this another exciting episode. This week, OnTV's target species is the Atlantic sailfish. With its advanced eyesight, ability to hunt prey, and speeds topping 35 miles per hour, the Atlantic sailfish is one of the most highly sought-after pelagic fish in the world.
As an angler, it's ingrained in our genetics as predators to, if you find a niche or any kind of advantage where you get a body of water and you know you can fish it and be productive, to keep it a secret and work with your network of fishermen and try to exploit what that niche is for as long as you can before everybody else finds out about it, and like every other fishery in the world, it just gets fished out and you're off to the next spot. This little island that we're fishing this week, the Island of Women in Isla Mujeres, just happens to be such a special spot that it doesn't compare to any of the other things we do. It's amazing how Mother Nature just dumps her bounty on this tiny little island, which just happens to be nestled 8 miles off of one of the most popular Mexican destinations for tourism. So while tourists are down in Cancun and they're drinking their Mai Tais and they're laying on the beach getting their suntans, Mother Nature is giving us one of the most incredible things any person could ever experience. And that is this rare and unique opportunity to get these hordes of sardines balled up in one congested area with a variety of different predators coming in to take advantage. This week, our target species is going to be the Atlantic sailfish. We're going to be trying to catch them on a bait ball. It's one of the easiest things and one of the hardest things to get yourself on when you come down to Isla, especially during the winter months. We were down a few weeks ago with John Raimondo on the Sea Mistress, and we fished for 2 days. Those 2 days, no bait balls, but we really accomplished our goal in just 2 days of trolling. Jen was able to learn how to angle in these fish off of a sport fish operation. We were able to put her on 19 sailfish in just 2 days of fishing and get her the experience we felt she needed to continue on her journey to become a better angler. This week, we got a call. John said, get back down here. I think you're gonna find what you're looking for. We got on the plane, got the whole crew together. Next thing we knew, we were making that short little trip from Cancun back to Isla, where supposedly these sardines were getting annihilated by these Atlantic sailfish. One of the great things about Isla is it's like a mini little Mexico in itself. They got this nightlife out there so that when you're not out on the water enjoying this fishing, you could find yourself either on a beautiful beach or, more often than not for us, we found ourselves having nice dinners and seeing some of the local action going on at night. Normally, when you go on these trips, they always want a couple of days of practice fishing to get you used to what's going on. And John's reply when I asked him if we were going to practice was, there is no practice. You're in the All-Stars. Just jump in the cockpit and try to get her done. We rolled out in the morning. We found a boat that was on some birds. I looked up at Joey. He said, that's a bait ball. But down here, we don't want to impose on them, just like we're not going to want anyone on us if we find one. And it took everything for me to understand this is how it is down here. These fishermen are gentlemen to each other. They're going to go out and they're going to hunt their own fish because they know it's a target-rich environment. And within the first half hour, I looked inshore, pointed out a flock of birds to Joey. He took a close look, looked down at Mark. Mark looked over, and they realized that had the potential to be sailfish. Before I knew it, all heck was breaking loose. We pulled up right on top of these birds, looked down, and there were sailfish everywhere. Deployed the divers and started to get into our operation. These bait balls are amazing. Look at these blocks of birds. They stay tight on these sailfish balls. This is why you come to Isla Mujeres.
OnTV is brought to you by Diamond Fishing Products. Our reputation is on the line. And Ocean LED, light years ahead. Just before the break, Bobby and the OnTV crew found themselves in the middle of a bait ball surrounded by sailfish off the island of Isla Mujeres, Mexico.
Last time we were down here, it was just amazing to us because we're coming from Palm Beach, Florida, where anywhere from 5 to 15 sailfish in a day is an incredible day of fishing. You're normally waiting for a specific wind to work out perfectly to get the fish snapping, and we were being told, we apologize, the bite's not really on, and all the while we're getting 10, 15 shots a day. John came out with us. We had a wonderful time. We got to fish with our friends. Mark McDevitt, who's like a big brother to me, invited us down. He was in the pit with us. Same drill, similar to white marlin fishing. We knew exactly what we were doing. This is amazing. Oh. This week's gonna be a little bit different. Mark's trying to explain to me, when we're on the bait ball, there is no belly in the line. These fish are coming up. Your job, try to get that rod right inside of that bait ball. Free spool so that the bait falls out of the bait ball, and one of these fish are gonna pick it up. Very short drop back. If you're one of those guys that has an ego that wants a high hookup ratio, you need not apply for this fishing journey. Get ready for a lot of sancochos, but at the end of the day, you should be happy with the amount of fish you caught. We're on the flat lines. I'm looking at 50 sailfish right now. I cannot believe it. Incredible. Oh, I have one looking. Juan the man hooks up with yet another. Sancocho? Sancocho. He called himself out on that, you see that? One of the things professional anglers really keep a tally of on a personal level is what their hookup ratio is. So you'll hear guys say, I hooked 7 for 9 today, 6 for 7, a perfect 7 for 7. They were really biting. These bait balls, let me tell you what, if you end up at 50%, you did a great job, and I'm tight. This is absolutely the best. Oh, folks, this is fishing down here. They're picking you up. It's hard to get them. It's such a quick drop back. These circle hooks aren't always engaging. I'm looking for another bait. To get a circle hook to engage properly, you really want that fish to take your bait and start to have it go down its throat. Then as the circle hook slides up forward, it's gonna catch the side of that fish's mouth. Ethically, it's gonna hook him right in a perfect spot as an angler if you're gonna be releasing him and wanting him to swim away and survive the fight. For mortality reasons, circle hooks are the perfect hook to use for any kind of fishing. For us this week, the circle hook's gonna work a little bit to our disadvantage, but we're gonna see what we could do. It's not uncommon to have days where people are catching 30, 40 of these sailfish. The way they do it is by getting on a bait ball like we're on right now and just working it with a professional crew. My man Mark hooked up. Jen, get on the stick. Nice. Here they come. Coming in just waves around these bait balls. Unbelievable. All lit up. Any similarities to Palm Beach in January and February are out the window right now. This is unbelievable. The country of Mexico has put regulations on the anglers where not only can you not use live bait, but you must also always be in a constant troll. So all day it's Joey keeping the boat in gear, us putting our baits back to give a trolling presentation, and all the while him positioning the boats to get our baits to where we can have access to those bait balls. Once our baits are on top of the bait ball, it's a free spool operation. We're looking like the wounded sardine that got hit by one of the other sailfish, and when that sailfish picks it up, it's an immediate lockup because they're gonna mouth the fish immediately, realize it's not a live bait, and potentially drop it off. That's right after I reel in this one. Triple header! Unbelievable. All right. This sequence was just typical of what was going on. The bait ball was right behind the boat. There were sailfish all around us. Mark and I both got our ballyhoos into the ball. We free spooled. Mark had one pick up. He came tight on it. It peeled across the spread, and wouldn't you know it, Sancocho. This is sick. There's just no other word for it. Sick. The trick to this is simple. Right place at the right time. Drift your ballyhoo right between all the sailing sailfish balling up bait. It's absurd. Bait ball fishing is quickly becoming one of my favorite things to do. To be able to stare at all these sailfish while you got a rod in your hand with a swimming ballyhoo back there in the middle of a feeding frenzy. I don't know how it could get any better than that anywhere else in the world. And I, for one, am glad we made the trip down here. I'm already thinking of different ways to thank old John for having us down on this second trip. Gracias. Nice. Going, girlfriend. Great work, buddy. That one's lit up. It's exactly what you come down to Isla Mujeres for, man. This is great. Great release. Great fish, Jen.
OnTV is brought to you by Roff's, Ruffer's Ocean Fishing Forecast Service, and Hopkins Carter, what you need at the price you want since 1916. OnTV is brought to you by Spooled Up Sport Fishing, twice the line in half the time, and Heartland Gold, one of the nation's leading marine life jewelers. Bobby and the OnTV crew have adapted to this new style of fishing, and the action continues as they are surrounded by bait balls and dozens of sailfish.
If you like bill fishing, this is excitement in a bottle right here. You come down here, it's got all the ingredients. Up north, we troll all day. You might see one sequence that might resemble a part of what you see here all day. There's birds behind every boat, balls of sailfish, you're identifying them. I know growing up, if you see one, maybe two billfish, sometimes packs come in 4 and 5. There's dozens of these sailfish all over these birds. It's amazing. Unbelievable. We have pterodactyls flying behind the boat, folks. Look at the size of these frigates, and there's no shortage of them down here in Mexico. There's sailfish jumping all around us. I'm looking at 3 different bait balls. This is cool. If you're used to traditional trolling tactics, let me tell you, leave it at the airport when you come down here. It's war with these fish. The bait balls are just getting annihilated, and we're trying to drift our ballyhoo through them as best we can. Captain's position in the boat. And ate another sardine. Reel in again, get back on the bait ball. Hope they mistake your ballyhoo for a wounded sardine, and you're on. Eventually, you just find a groove and you get your feel for when the fish picks you up, you get your technique down to where you get your own style. And for me, it was a quick 2 to 3 second drop back, lock it up real in tight, and I started to, as the day was going on, improve on my hookup ratio. Bait ball just came right behind the boat. I reeled it in, put it in free spool. They think it's a wounded sardine, and I watched the fish come up and eat it. I've never done anything like that. The closest thing I've ever done is tuna chunk and anything like this. This is insane. We're doing it with billfish. Jen, you got your belt? All right.
worry, Joey, I'll hook you another.
Well, now you know why I told you to come down here.
My brother, never steered me wrong yet, man. They're thrashing right here, 20 feet off the back of the boat. Oh! Jen gets charged with a sancocho. Good job, Jen. Keep your belt on. Oh, he spit it. Yeah, I'm gonna get another one right here. Watch this. And I'm tight. Nice. This is insane.
It's insane is right, bro. Juan rigged 100 ballyhoo for us this morning, and I'm looking down on the box right now, and we don't have but a little bit less than a dozen left. The action is crazy. Everything around you is just going nuts. There's divers in the water. The fish are getting bit. This guy's reeling in a sancocho. You're dropping on a bait ball. The captain's position is on another group of birds, and it's just chaos. It's just going on all around you the entire time. And for us, the entire time just happened to last for about 6 hours.
Ooh, right under the boat. That is amazing. What else can I say? This is East Lamar, baby. Woo. You're literally, it's mayhem when you get into these things. You always have a fish on. Captain's keeping the line tight on the fish. Bait balls are swimming in and out of the boats. They're trying to get in the exhaust of the boats. It's unbelievable. And all around them, wild, mad sailfish. Electric blue. That's what it's all about. Good job, Jen. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It is amazing. Woo! This is wild. There's, I see the leader. Step back and let Mark have it. Nice, good fish, babe. Nice, good release.
Nice fish.
Good job, baby. Tell us how you feel about Isla Mujeres.
I love it. This is awesome.
All right. We're getting on another bait ball right now.
OnTV is brought to you by Tigress. Tigress quality, accept no imitations. And Midshore Electronics, a leader in the sales, service, and installation of marine electronics on the East Coast. OnTV is brought to you by Frigid Rigid, the only ice test you'll ever need unless one is not enough. And Turner Realty, servicing the state of Florida realty needs for 85 years.
All day long, it was just sequence after sequence of the same exact scenario. One bait ball would die off. We'd look to the right. There's another one 100 yards away. Joey would reposition the boat. One of us would hook up, hand off to Jen, and it was just fish after fish after fish. It was just a complete chaos of fun. We couldn't keep this to ourselves. We had to make it into an episode, and we had to make sure that everybody understood this was not a unique occurrence, that this is what you can expect when you come down and you fish with a professional crew.
I see one swimming off the pack right now. Mark's hooked up. Nice. Jen, belt. Jen's getting a workout today. I dare not even guess how many we're up to. Top, I'm sure, is keeping a good note on it. I'm worried about getting my bait in the water. Lead her up. Good job. All right, we're gonna share some of the other American boats down here. Let them get at some of this action. We're exhausted. That's Isla Mujeres. Firsthand, watching it on TV. We've been on the bait ball since 8:45 in the morning. A constant barrage of fish all day. At one point, we were keeping track of how many we had. I believe we lost count at 27. We really started to bear down, caught a bunch more fish, and just had an awesome day down here in Mexico. I couldn't think of any other way to close out this show than to let you see what was going on underneath the boat just one more time down here in the beautiful island of women, Isla Mujeres, Mexico, as Mother Nature dumped her bounty on the OnTV crew.
We hope you enjoyed watching this week's episode of On TV. Join us next week as host Bobby Pastorius and crew continue their pursuit of the outdoors as they fish the West Palm Beach Inlet, targeting tarpon and snook.